Looks like we got a new friend!
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to Tilt. Tilt episode 5? Episode 5. We are very excited to be here. I'm going to pop the link in chat right now for all of the new things, but I haven't updated the Twitter yet, so don't retweet that tweet. I'll tweet the tweet in a minute when I've updated the tweet. Was that too many tweets? I don't know. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Oh, before I do, links being spammed, check them all out. Social links, places you can support us, sponsor information. Big thank you to Murder Each Hand Press and Bird in the Storm Publishing who make this all possible, and lots of other things there as well. I'll update the retweet link right now. Let's say hello to the wonderful DM today. Oh, hi, Kelly.
Oh, hi. I'm Kelly, a Kelly Lane on Twitter, a Kelly in chat. You can find me here a lot. Mondays and coming back this Wednesday. I will be back on Wednesdays for our new show, which is very exciting. And then you can also find me on select Saturdays at Wandering DM playing in a Pulp Cthulhu game, which I love very, very much. So that's me. Oh, you can also find my articles for free on Scrat's Patreon, which I just recently started doing, so I keep forgetting to say anything about it. But you don't have to be a patron to be able to read them, so you should check them out.
Thank you, Kelly. And next around, we have the fantastic Witherbrick. Ray, hi.
Hey, I'm Ray. I'm with a brick. I play Ipsis. She's a tiefling arcane trickster rogue who seems to be getting stalked by Lonsdelight's family and trying to just have a good time. So I'm really excited to see what kind of mess we get into this week.
Going around screen order, it's me next. Lonsdelight. She's having a whole trip. You'll see. Next round, we have Jess, Little Cup of Joe. Oh, hi.
Hello. Yep, I'm Jess, Little Cup of Joe. I am playing our token human, Sandor, who is mechanically a barbarian, mostly just because he has, like, anger problems when he fights, but that's it.
Indeed. Last, but most certainly not least, Vera says dragons. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi! Hi, everybody. I'm Vera Says Dragons. I play Ransom, the moody tiefling cleric, whose past is not coming to bite him in the ass, but everybody else.
Did you just describe all of us or just one of us? Because I feel like that's also me, you know, like...
I mean, you know, that's a good point.
Yeah.
This party is the definition of I just came here to have a good time and I'm honestly feeling so attacked right now.
Yeah.
So, recap of last week. We went to a festival, right?
Yes.
I went into a hall of mirrors where Lonsdelight just got a little bit depressed and then came out again. Then you guys went to like a smelling salts room or something?
A smelling memories room?
It was, yeah, like
Tent?
like a smelling box in vase room, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we did a fight.
Yeah, we did a fight. The fight was fun. I still think that we should have gone back in and see if we could have done it solo. But that's just me. That's not Lonsdelight. Lonsdelight probably would have only suggested that Sandor do that.
He would have.
Yeah, she kind of was gonna suggest it, but things moved on.
Super wanted to.
Then we saw the the ringleader of the circus person, whose name I can remember not. Tristan, thank you. Who was like talking about the starfall thing, and then the stars fell, and then there was a big thing that came, and there was like a trifecta of things. Help me. Words are
Trifecta
hard.
of trippiness.
Words are hard. Help me. What happened? Anyone? Okay. So there was that, and it was sort of like a big play thing, and we were a bit tripped out. But then we saw the star fall on the other side of the mountain, and we decided that we were going to try and beat everyone there by racing through the mountain to get there using some smuggler's tunnel provided by my strangely into me water genasi person who apparently appreciates bad flirting.
She likes them cute and awkward.
I think that was a pretty solid summary. I think that's where we ended the night. So I believe we also got a little bit more information about Sandor's, the person who's romantically interested in Sandor.
Yeah, that guy with the name that I definitely remember. I just remember. Sandor struggles to remember regularly. Johan.
And I think we actually kind of left with Vera with Ransom and Sandor kind of chatting about that.
Yep.
A Ransom being very clear about the doom and gloom portends there. But I believe the party decided to kind of spend the night at midnight. They got a room all together, a big room, so that they could keep an eye on each other, I believe, to kind of rest up before the next day. And actually wanted to give everyone the chance to kind of go around and see if there's any fast things that they wanted to do before kind of settling down for the night, or if we were all just going to kind of pass the F out and call it a day. So is there anything that anybody wants to do before kind of going to sleep and getting ready for the morning?
I mean, OOC, I want to let you all know that I have just been handed some barbecue duck steamed buns, and they're absolutely amazing. But in character, no, I'm ready to sleep.
Why you gotta be like
Scrat,
that?
that was mean.
Love
That's
you all.
so mean.
We just started. Don't antagonize us.
I'm so hungry now. Gosh darn it.
I think Sandor is good. I don't think he has anything in particular to deal with.
Ipsis is pretty good as well. She's ready for bed.
I mean, I suppose I say Lonsdale doesn't want to do anything, but really, does the water genasi, does she just go to bed? Is that what she does?
I believe you parted ways earlier.
We did.
You don't know where she's at.
Good. That's good, because otherwise Lonsdale would have been doing that not sure what to do hover thing, which would have just lasted forever and been extremely tedious to everyone. So she'll just go to bed.
Ransom
Yes,
would just
Maritza
like the day
said
to be
good
over.
night. What did you say, Vera, about what Ransom is gonna do?
He just
Kind of
wants today to be over. He's sleep. Sleep would be good.
Okay, and so you are all able to get kind of a large room. It's got 2 big beds, probably an armchair, a fireplace. You could probably have requested a cot, so that everybody's got their own space, and are able to kind of bed down for the night. I believe we wanted to set a watch. Who is gonna stay up for first watch?
Sandor doesn't go to bed all that early, so he's probably taking first watch by default.
Oh no.
Sandor is sipping on something in the corner, probably.
Yep.
Now remember
Didn't
not
say it
to
was a
drink.
good watch.
Remember not to drink too much when you're on watch. You have to be able to at least call to us, Sandor. Okay?
Yes, mother.
You know, you make sure you get a good night's rest too. Don't take watch too long.
All right.
Have you eaten enough?
I've eaten enough to soak up what's in here. Don't you worry about it.
Ipsis is already on the bed at this point, that are like curled up at the end of it like a cat and just passed out. He just passed out.
I would like to do a mother's insight check on Sandor. And just make sure that he's okay.
Okay, roll that. Just prepare yourself for how this is going to go.
Yep.
Whoa, why have you thrown me into... Oh, did I not finish leveling up last week or something? What? Throw me into the character mancer.
Goodness. I may have forgotten to do that as well.
Oh, no, hang on. I went to level up and then realized that I'd already pre-leveled up. That was it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be level 5 and I'd already made level
Shit,
Fine.
I need to do that. Shit.
It's not the best. It's really not the best.
Not the. Oh.
Yeah. So on an 8, what does Mom's Delight get from you, Sandor?
He seems to be confident in the words he's saying.
Okay, Sandor, you know how to look after yourself.
Are we doing double shifts
know.
then, or
Oh, did you want to hang out with me?
no?
I'll leave you two alone. And
God.
Light's gonna like dive onto a bed and immediately soldier sleep.
I've made a grave mistake.
Well, looks like it's just us.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to look too excited. You might get my hopes up.
Uh-huh.
Love that just happened. So we are actually going to kind of leave our 2 watchmen awake, probably in painfully awkward silence for a while.
Sandor's not awkward, just Ransom.
I don't know if he's awkward, he's just not personable.
I don't think either of them are awkward. It's the silence between them that's
Yes.
awkward.
The
It's like
silence feels bad.
Yeah, it's just them glaring at each other.
And we are actually going to pan to Ipsis,
Oh no.
who had quite the day yesterday. And Ray, what is Ipsis dream about?
Oh, I think this particular evening she's dreaming about home. Because she stole that little vial last session and she still has it in her pocket. And I think like as she curls up to go to bed while everybody's kind of doing their thing and not paying too much attention, she, takes it out and kind of smells it one more time and puts it back and curls up and falls asleep. And she's probably dreaming about like her earliest memories with the troop and mantra and like learning as a young child to like run around and be sneaky and thinking everything was a game and just like having a lot of fun, and mantra always like yelling at her, picking her up when she falls, like having those moments like as a young tiefling kid kind of not knowing what's going on or what everything's about, kind of like in those naive when everything was easy type of days. I feel like that's kind of where she would be, especially that night.
And while you're dreaming, you actually feel like you're younger when everything is from the perspective of small Ipsis. Everyone else is so much larger and the world is so big and wide and open as you run and play. But then in your dream, you head to bed, you rest at the end of the day, and Mantra comes to your room, and there's this moment where sleeping Ipsis realizes that she is in a dream. One of those moments where you can kind of see yourself and you know that this is a dream, but it feels different. And Mantra stops and sits next to you in a chair beside your bed and talks to you. And Ipsis, you know that she is talking to you today, the real Ipsis who is laying asleep. She just says, Ipsis, my darling, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm so good. It's so good to hear your voice. It's so good to see you.
It's been quite a long time.
Too long. Way too long.
I got your message.
You did? I didn't know if you were around or if you were close or what had happened, but I was really hoping.
I'm always nearby. I want you to know not to worry about me. I'm okay. I've just been around the sun many, many times. And I hope that some of the last things I can do is to protect you.
I mean, protect me? Isn't that what you raised me for, so I could protect myself?
Yes, but you have to know there are things back at the guild. Things going on. Jacobson, do you remember him?
I do. Vaguely, but I do.
He was one of the other young ones when you were here. He's taken over. And he has sought some unusual allies. People aren't happy with him in charge. People have talked about trying to find you again. I had to leave because it was getting contentious. And I would not be surprised if he is sending someone after you to make sure that those whispers begin to stop.
I mean, I think I've already found out who may be after me, so at least we're a step ahead of where he thinks we are. But why go after me? I haven't been a part of that in years. I don't associate with anything related to them anymore.
I think he's panicked. I think they're all panicked. And I think that they have caught on to things about me and about you. You are in Dusk, right?
Yeah, it seems to be at the moment.
I've been there myself many times. And you have to be careful. There are bigger plans for you in place. Plans that I hoped you become ready for.
I mean, I can only hope so too. I remember everything you've taught me, and I keep on learning. I feel ready.
Good. Keep your wits about you. And
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll see me again before my time comes.
I hope I see you again. Please stay safe.
And the dream fades to black. And Ipsis, you continue to rest. And we're going to pan briefly over to Lon's Delight, who is also asleep. And Scrap, we've discussed as a group that Lon's Delight does not sleep easy. She often sleeps apart because of nightmares and visions.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight, she mostly dreams of those early days with her sister. Those days when they were together. What were those days like between the two of you?
Oh boy. So Lon's Delight, it's not that their father was particularly it wasn't like he was abusive or anything like that. It's just he had a very one-track mind, and that track was thieving. So Lon's Delight would often be teaching Shimmer how to get away, or trying to teach Shimmer how to get away with things. The thing was, Shimmer really was good at the things that their father wanted her to be good at. So, Lon's Delight would often try and look out for Shimmer and find that she didn't need to, or Shimmer would always give off the impression that she knew better and then double down by being right in that also. It was really tough on Lon's Delight, actually. She was like, she already felt second best, and that sort of doubled down on that a lot. And not only that, really invalidated her experiences as well, because she'd got to this place where she was like, well, I know how to manipulate my way around their father, and she figured that was like the best way to deal with things. And then Shimmer would come in and just do it the way that it should be done, steal everything without anyone seeing her, and Lon's Delight would be left standing somewhere as a distraction. So there was a lot of trying to look after her, but it kind of being wasted. And that's probably more what she remembers than anything else, is just watching great things happen and not really being able to be a part of them. Certainly not in the way she wanted to be.
And these are the kinds of memories that come up, and some of them in your dreams, you know, are exactly how they happened. They're real memories that you still manage to hold on to after all this time. But others are more of a mosaic of the kinds of things that you experienced growing up. And at the end, you even have these moments of kind of peace as you relive the moments when you decided to leave. When you were finally striking out on your own and you were apart from that. It is a weird kind of peace, something more like a chapter closing rather than internal peace. But you do kind of relive
Looks like we
those
got a new
points.
friend.
And throughout this, how well does Lon's Delight sleep through this? Is this as traumatic as many of her other dreams, or is this kind of par for the course?
Well, it's interesting. Her sleep had definitely changed once Shimmer came on board, because you know her father happily sold to her mother. But all the time she was with him, it was like there was some kind of buffer or protection there. So it wasn't until she was left alone in that hostel that she first got visited in the night. The first time she slept but didn't sleep. And that was a whole trip. Do you like me?
And so you sleep.
Go on.
And that's it. You sleep. But you know, and you recognize that today these dreams are not visits from other people. They're not being watched, but rather they are replays of this relationship with your sister. And that is clearly what is on your mind, given what happened the day before. And eventually, Ransom and Sandor, the night gets late, you switch over the watch with the other two. Ipsis and Lon's Delight, you have the opportunity to chat with each other or not. and the two of you go to sleep. And Sandor, your dreams are primarily... Sandor doesn't like to look back, so he very rarely dreams of the past. But you instead have dreams of today, of the present, of adventures you've been on recently with someone with you. And it is that former teacher, the one who taught you how to fight, the one who was patient and who saw the potential in you where others may not have or may have overlooked. Can you describe him for us?
Sure. He was actually not that much older than Sandor. He was probably about the same age as one of his oldest brothers. So the gap between them was maybe 6, 7 years. Sandor thought he was quite handsome. For whatever that was worth. He always remembered there was a kind of firmness but kindness playing together in his eyes. He was very patient, but he didn't let Sandor get away with his usual crap as a kid, which actually earned him a lot of respect. But
this patience, would it be acceptable to say that it seems like this man had kind of an old soul, where he had been...
A little. There was a sense that he had probably been through a lot at some point from a very young age, given that he wasn't actually that much older. But Sandor didn't really know that much about him. He was a master at arms in his household. And that was about as much as he ever knew about his background.
And it's maybe unclear. Is it unclear to Sandor why he may be making an appearance now, or is there a reason Sandor feels he might be thinking of him?
He thinks about him far more often than he would like to, because it always hurts. Because that was the first time being rejected really, really, really mattered to him. That was the first person that he fell in love with. And really the only one. And dreaming about that hurts a lot.
Is it rare for Ransom to be having a dream like this? Or is this more common than others would expect?
Probably more common than people would expect. It's also usually a good sign that he's going to start the morning with his flask.
And how does Sandor sleep?
Physically?
Yeah.
You mean?
Is he able to sleep through the night with these dreams and these memories? Is he...
I mean, I think he does, but he probably wakes up a little bit sooner than he normally would. But he just sort of gets up, stretches a bit, and immediately reaches for that flask with a curse under his breath and just takes a drink and spends however much time is left in the morning before the rest wake up, brooding and staring out the window angrily.
And I think that means that this is one of the first nights where Ransom is the last to wake.
Yup.
Or the first mornings.
Yup.
How does Ransom usually sleep?
Ransom sleeps very lightly. He's very used to having to wake up, so he's not very restful most of the time.
And what is weird for you, Ransom, about this night? Oh, let's skip for a second. What is weird for you about this night is that you are sleeping heavily. But it's not because you are sleeping any better. It is rather an unnatural sleep. It is a magical induced sleep. You are being drawn into something beyond what is a normal dream. And Ransom, you know this immediately.
Ransom is pissed.
This is not what it is like. And you find that you are almost paralyzed in this dream. It is as if you are a guest in someone else's vision, a guest in someone else's show, just there to observe. However, as you begin to maybe panic a little bit, but mostly just get irritated at the state of things, you feel a comforting presence beside you that you have felt before in the past few days. And you know that the Raven Queen is who has brought you here to witness whatever is occurring. It's hard to say if this is occurring now. It's hard to say if this is a vision that she is choosing to show you. It's hard to say how much of this is true. But she's there with you, very much pulling you along for this ride. And what you see before you is that you are back in that cave in the mountains. It feels like the time is a long time ago, and you see that each of these chairs is filled, and the Raven Queen, who stands beside you, also sits in the chair where you saw her symbol. And next to her, you see these other mighty beings who are larger than life and who are clearly on par with your goddess. And 10 of them sit arguing with each other, while 2 sit across from them, looking like children who are being told by mom and dad that they shouldn't be doing something, in the way where they look as if they are being reprimanded, but they also have that stiff-backed, straight-necked stubbornness of, feel free to reprimand me, I'm going to keep doing whatever I want anyway. And you hear them.
I'm really sorry about this, folks. My Zoom keeps breaking. Welcome back. Sorry about that, everyone. My Zoom keeps breaking. I don't know why. Hopefully that is it resolved. If it happens again, we might have to do a Zoom restart, but hopefully that'll be everything. Sorry, we are live, everyone. Just a small
I don't know
bit.
how much we missed. Did we miss anything?
Literally, like, maybe the last sentence.
Okay.
Like, it cut out about 5 seconds ago, so...
Oh, no.
Got it. And so this group of 10 are arguing, and these 2 others are sitting there, looking like they're being reprimanded, but also very stubborn in their posture. And finally, it seems like a decision has been come to, Ransom, and you hear these 10 individuals say, if you're going to insist upon this game of yours, we get to put in some safeguards and join the game as well. And then your goddess looks to you, and she just says, safeguards against the game. And you return and you wake up the next morning feeling unrested. you don't feel like you got sleep. You feel instead like you have been dragged through a pool of muddy water. You feel worn and tired still. Like you have spent all night exerting yourself. Which is why you've slept in this morning compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Highly
Highly irregular. Yeah, he wakes up, and you know how he usually looks like he hasn't slept for a week? Yeah, it looks like he hasn't slept for a month. Just, he looks like death warmed over, honestly. And he wakes up and just instantly annoyed because he got this tidbit of information, but it's not enough.
Sandor is perched by whatever window is in this place, just looking out, and his flask looks lighter.
Ipsis at this point would probably be like stretched out on the foot of the bed wherever she ended up falling asleep, like awake, but just kind of like she took the coin out of her hair that she had and she's just kind of like fumbling, waiting for everybody to wake up and like, you know, waiting to just do whatever.
If no one woke Lonsdelight up for second watch, that's the first time she's actually slept in years. So she's probably pretty out of it.
I don't know if Ransom would have woken her. He probably woke Ipsis, but I don't know if he would have woken her.
I wouldn't have woken her up if she seemed to be sleeping soundly. I would have just left her.
Thank you for those rerolls, people. Kentucky Hawkeye gifting a reroll to Ransom, and Smallish Sam gifting a reroll to Witherbrick instead of Kelly. But she does say, tell Kelly I'm sorry, and she's still my girl, and I still love her.
Is she, though?
And so we are all awake. It is still early. It's not like you all slept until noon today because you do have an appointment to keep. But the sun is up in the sky, and you all are in your room at midnight.
Never slept this late in my life. And he just rolls out of bed and literally just rolls onto the floor.
You okay?
No.
What's wrong? I thought you slept well. You slept late.
He just looks at you, and he just looks like death.
At least one of us did.
Oh. You don't look so good.
I will tell you when I know.
What the hell does that mean?
Exactly what it sounds like. And then he's gonna get up and start getting ready for the day.
Ipsis would put the coin back in her hair and kind of get up and just like shake herself off, kind of, you know, dust off her clothes. Probably put her shoes back on.
I think Sandor's still wearing what he was wearing yesterday, so he's good. He will probably wait until the rest have gotten themselves situated and then basically lean over as far as is required and give a nudge at Lonsdelight with his foot. Hey. Hello. Good morning. You're muted.
Good morning, Sandor.
Well, it looks like it's a good one for you, at least.
I think
Did you sleep?
I had a dream.
Oh, lucky you.
Or a memory. It was sad, but I got lots of sleep. That's a bonus.
Good. Looks like you needed it. Sandor looks rougher than he does most mornings. And it's not a hangover.
Sandor, you look particularly bad. Maybe we should take you into the bathroom, wash your face, maybe clean your hair. Did you change your clothes? Those are the same clothes as yesterday, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the only ones I have, not counting the ones that are staying firmly folded in my bag.
They're so pretty, though. Maybe we could go shopping and get... Oh, no, we do need to get under the mountain to the other side. I don't have anything that I could have. Ipsis sometimes... or maybe Ransom. Ransom might have something you could wear.
I'm fine.
I mean, it would probably have a tail hole, but other than that...
Probably be big too, but if you really wanted it.
No, I'm good.
Hmm.
If I smell too bad, I'll just walk downwind.
You just smell like stale alcohol. So, the usual.
Well, that's normal.
Maybe we could, you know, just maybe put some hot water on your face just a little bit, just to freshen you up, make you feel good about the day, ready to get on, like you've put a little bit of effort in.
Yeah, sure. He gets up and wanders over to the basin to splash some water on his face.
There we go. Doesn't that feel better?
Not really, but sure. We'll go with that.
And there's a knock at the door.
Who is it?
Oh, hi guys! And it's Soren.
Oh,
Somebody dropped off a note for you guys at the desk. Up front, or at the bar, or whatever. I don't know. It's the same thing for me.
Sandor will go open the door. Let's see it.
Oh, hi. Here you go. It was just, I don't know, some guy. He
What's
said that
it
somebody
say?
paid him to bring it here.
What did he look like?
And it looks like a handwritten note, kind of on a scrap of paper. It actually looks kind of ripped and torn. It's almost like somebody just like ripped the edge off of something loose. And it says, it begins with "Hello, sister."
He's gonna look at it for a minute and then hand it over to Lance Delight.
Thank you, Sandor.
Think this is for you.
And it says, "Hello, sister.
Oh no.
I had to give a warning shot out of family courtesy. But you might want to watch what company you keep." And that's it.
Is everything okay, Lons?
Thank you, Soren. Do you need a tip or anything?
Oh, no, it's part of the gig. You guys paid enough for the room.
Awesome. Your hair looks fantastic today. Did you get it recut at the festival? That pixie cut's amazing.
Oh, no. Thank you, though. I do it myself.
Okay, so is she gone?
And she'll be like, I'll make sure you guys have breakfast. Packed up, ready to go for when you're ready.
You are a wonder.
Thanks.
Thank
He'll
you.
toss his flask over to her and just be like, I'm gonna need a refill.
I'll drop it back off at the door.
Thank you.
And she closes the door and kind of, you hear little footsteps wandering away, and as you speak a few minutes later, you hear a tink of the flask being kind of left outside the door of the room.
So this is from my sister. I was right. If she wants to kill you, she would kill you. Apparently, the first shot was a warning shot. And I should
Sweet of her.
watch the company that I keep.
She's referring to me, right? Unfortunately.
I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you, Ipsis. It's most likely as you were the one to receive the warning shot. But she could have done it to any one of us just to prove that she can as a warning shot. I mean, if you were an assassin, would you give away your target? Maybe not. Did any of you annoy in any way a master thief? Or maybe make a pact with some kind of demon?
Kelly,
It looks like he's thinking real hard.
would anything Ransom has done fall into the first criteria? Because I know he hasn't done the second.
Ransom, I imagine you have had a lot of close calls and pissed a lot of people off. But there's not anyone in particular who like screams hiring a tiefling assassin to you.
Okay, so he's not gonna say anything.
It would have been a man with reasonably dark skin, dark beard, always wears a hat with like bones around the trim, wields flaming blades.
Super not my style.
Whose style is that, honestly? But that's my dad.
Never seen a guy like that before.
Good.
I'll get back to you. Need to think about that.
Ipsis at this point is just sitting back on the bed, kind of like nervously like playing with her hair, just like not quite sure what to do. I don't know if it was just a dream, but last night I was visited again by my old friend, and she said to keep an eye out and to be careful, and now you get a note. So I'm not saying they're after me specifically, but I feel like we all should have some sort of extremely heightened sense of awareness of what we do and who we talk to from here on out.
So wait, you had a weird dream?
I did. Not weird, it was comforting. But I knew I was dreaming and I was having a conversation, and it didn't feel like a conversation that was happening in the dream, but a conversation that happened with me. So I don't know what you would call it, but it came off as a dream.
And Lons, you had a dream?
Yes, first time in years. Usually I get visited by some kind of evil demon that torments me or watches me or makes me nervous or, teases me or any of those sorts of things. But no, last night I just had a very sad dream about my sister.
How about you, Ransom?
A dream isn't technically the right word, but it was not my usual rest. I hesitate to put words to it until I understand it better.
Fair. Right, so that's weird. I don't know. Magic's not my thing. Seems like a coincidence. Just an observation.
It doesn't seem like a coincidence to me.
And he ducks outside to grab his flask and is patently not mentioning any dreams he may or may not have had.
Ransom's on to you. He just watches him go and he just kind of thoughtful and looks at the girls.
He just ducks back in.
Well, we have to go through this mountain thing now, right? Not scary, not supposed to worry at all, right?
We should probably get moving.
Alright.
Wow.
Don't let me walk into any walls, please. I did not rest. And then he just starts walking out.
Grant Ellis has just arrived and is donating to make a complication happen, please.
Oh no.
Wild Grant appears!
So soon!
The exact wording, a dream is a wish your heart makes or a complication.
Great.
Okay. And you all are able to kind of gather your stuff and pack up. and head out to the main part of Midnight, out into the main common space, where there are some people awake, but it's surprisingly quiet here. You could imagine that people were up quite late last night in town enjoying the festival, and so it would be a logical understanding that they're probably sleeping in. You do see kind of Soren bustling about, and there's a few packages kind of wrapped in kind of wax paper on the bar, and she just goes, "I made you guys breakfast."
No, thanks. You can take it and have some.
Snacks for the road. Gotta keep your strength up.
Oh, thank you, Soren.
And she's kind of sitting on the bar, kind of rocking her feet back and forth. She's like, anything I can do to help. You guys are one of the, ever since the three of you showed up, Sandra stopped breaking my stuff, so.
In my defense, I never set out to do that.
I mean,
And
fair.
yet.
Right.
And you are able to kind of head out front, where Maritza and Marius said that they would meet you. And you do see them kind of off to one side, chatting with each other. They've got kind of packs on, and Maritza is in very different clothes than she wore before. Before she was in her performance clothing, and now she's actually in what looks like leathers, and she actually has a longbow strapped to her back, and she looks kind of ready to head out. However, you also hear a bit of a commotion down the road, and you see another group of people kind of talking and gathering their own bags, including Tristan and Fletch. Thank you for that complication.
What do you think?
That doesn't bode well.
Should we speak to them or try to avoid them? We want to get away quickly, right? And beat them to
Go.
What's the point in talking to them if we're trying to beat them to the punch?
We should just start moving quickly.
Maybe
Let's go.
we could misdirect them?
It's not going to be worth the time.
Well, we
I
just
don't
climbed
think
the
he's that
mountain.
stupid.
We just climbed the mountain recently. We could tell them we found a hidden pass up there that would cut 2 days off of the journey. Who would know any better?
They're going to figure out that we don't actually want to help them.
Yeah, and also, wasn't that whole shit show back there his?
Well, yes, but come on. I'm a kindly soul who wouldn't say anything wrong to anyone, right?
That's bullshit.
I've
So
let
then
my
are you
veils.
taking the leads on this?
Look, we're wasting time. Why don't we just go?
I think I could deceive them. You guys start. I'll go ahead.
Oh, hells.
Suit yourself. Come on. Sandor will start walking.
And the three of you kind of head over to Maritza and Marius, who are clearly waiting for you, and they look confused as to why Lon's Delight is wandering off in the other direction. But we're going to follow Lon's Delight as she does whatever Scrat is thinking right now, which I have no idea what it is. So looking forward to this.
So they're getting like mountaineering stuff ready, right? Like they're looking to take a journey through the mountains?
Yes, it does look like they are planning a journey through the mountains.
Good morning,
They've
friends.
got packs. Oh, and Fletch speaks to you, and he goes, "Oh, hey there. You're up early."
Yes, indeed. Getting some morning exercise. It looks like you're planning a trip into the mountains.
Yep, we're heading off the mountain. Can't pass up an opportunity to try and find a star.
Oh yes, you're going to find the star. Most interesting. Well, as you know, we went up to the mountain recently. Avoid the main pass. A snowdrift completely whited the place out. We saw what we think was an easier path, maybe about a day's ride west, then ascend the mountain over that way. It looked like a nice, easy pathway through.
And roll that deception.
Oh, no whammies. I'd like to re-roll that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Possible.
And I'm gonna re-roll that.
Oh,
And Fletch is cool with it. He just says, "Oh, yeah, you went up right before you got here, right?"
Yes, right before we got here, there was, we had to take shelter in a cave waiting for the snowdrift to pass, and then the way back down was most treacherous on the main path.
Yeah.
You might want to, it might take a little longer to go round, but take an extra day's ration and plenty of warm blankets and make sure you all stay safe.
Oh, and thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. It's not pretty rare that anybody goes up in the mountains without a monk. Doesn't happen very often, so we weren't quite sure which way to go anyway.
Yeah.
But what are you guys doing?
Oh, well, your sauna hot spring inspired us. We're going to go and do a little spelunking and see if we can find some more.
Oh, well, best of luck with that. I haven't heard anything, but if you find something else, you know, my hot spring's kind of special. So if you find anything else like that, you gotta let me know. I mean, I did help you guys out earlier, right?
Of course, you'll be the first to know.
So.
Good luck for looking for your things, you know. I hope you get there in impeccable timing and have a wonderful journey.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate the tip. Well, best of luck on your spelunking.
Yes. How deep do you think the caves go? Do you think we'll have enough rope with like 100 feet?
I've never caves. I mean, I don't know of any particular caves. I don't spend a lot of time in that part of the mountains.
Oh, fair enough.
So, I found my hot spring. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, then I better go and get with my group. It looks like they're waiting for me most impatiently. But I thought I couldn't let
Safe travels, friend.
Safe travels to you as well.
I feel like that needs to be a GIF. Somebody get on that.
Please.
And you see Fletch kind of turn back to the group, and they're talking kind of animatedly. Him with Tristan, especially. There's maybe 3 or 4 of them together, and you're able to head back over to join Maritza and Marius and the other 3 of the party.
Hello.
All right, talk while we walk.
Did it go?
I am a sweet, innocent, affable person who is only out to help people and make sure that they do not face the dangers of the great passage, the great landslide on the main walkway, right?
That's cute. They bought it?
Hook, line, and sinker.
Ipsis will just put her hand up for a high five.
And Lancelot will give you a hug.
Hey, good going. I'm so proud of you.
Kind of wish I had known you 3 years ago, but we should move.
Right, let's go.
And Marius is the strong silent type, and he just kind of like nods off to the distance and kind of leads you back towards the base of the mountain. You get to a spot in the road where there's a kind of wooden stake with signs kind of pointing up towards the monastery. or where it would have been, things pointing down towards the valley and away from dusk on either side. And then the path splits off and kind of turns into a goat trail through the woods. It looks like there are people that walk this, but it's not fairly regular. And it doesn't take long before Marius kind of even leads you off of that path, kind of skirting around the base of the mountain until you come across almost what looks like a small kind of crack in the wall. It's not a very large opening. It's not, this is a grand cave opening. You guys can all comfortably fit through it, but it's something that you probably wouldn't have even really paid attention to had you just been walking, because it's not like some giant hole in the wall. And
also, welcome raiders. Thank you very much, Craniodad, for the raid. Oh, hi everyone. We're about to go spelunking.
And Marius kind of takes out of his pack a torch, or two torches, one for himself, and he passes the other one to Sandor. He says,
Thanks.
You may end up needing this. I don't think the other members of your group will, though.
Yeah, right. Of course. Plight of the human.
And he kind of turns back to look at you all. And Maritza is there, and she seems... she's been fairly quiet this morning. She seems nervous, I'd say. Is an accurate description of her general posture. She seems nervous. And he just goes, well, the cave system here is somewhat extensive. So make sure you don't wander off. You don't know what could be in one corner versus the next.
Welcome to the academy. Please take your seats.
And he's like, you all ready?
Let's do it.
It'll be fun.
Try to sound a little more convincing.
It'll be so much fun.
That was actually pretty good. Nice job.
And you are able to enter into the caves. And the first part of this walk is tight. It is kind of one at a time. Marius takes the front, and it is pretty dark in here, and so he lights his torch at the beginning. And you're able to kind of walk single file through this section of cave. And then it begins to open up. And there are places where you see it branching from one side to the next. And there may even be some moments where kind of Marius kind of stops and looks in either direction and thinks for a moment and then picks one path and keeps moving forward. He does seem fairly confident as to where he's going. It's just like he's double checking his bearings.
Welcome to the academy.
And you head
Please
deeper and
take your
deeper into
seats.
the mountain. And it's dark and it's cold and it's quiet for quite a while. Probably cover the first hour or two of the journey in this quiet. And then you hit a spot where it begins to open up. There's kind of a gap. You enter a larger cavern where your light is still able to shine, and you see the glint of kind of water dripping down the walls. There are moments you can even watch as Maritza kind of calls to it and plays with it in the air before returning it back to the ground. And is there anything you would like to do while you are kind of traveling through this space?
Can I mother ransom incessantly?
Of course, please.
So it'll start off, real mild. Have you ever been cave crawling before, Ransom?
No.
Oh, very good. Put your hand there. It's the most wonderful experience. It's all about finding the right handholds and all of that good stuff. How did it go with Sandor last night?
It wasn't flirting.
I didn't say it
Handholds,
was.
Can you just speak plainly and ask what you want to know in reality instead of talking around it?
Well, honestly, sometimes I don't know what I'm asking, and I like to talk around a bunch of subjects until I find something interesting.
He just sighs.
Regrettably, the answer is no. Nothing happened.
Oh, you two didn't have any.
Regrettably,
You two didn't even have a nice conversation.
Nope.
no.
And Maritza Maritza's there and she hears all of this and she's looking at the three of you in this interaction and she's kind of like snickers behind her hand.
Ransom just shoots her a look like, don't you dare.
I'll wear him down eventually. He's just plain hard to get.
I am not playing in anything.
Sure.
Are they always like this? She whispers. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty common occurrence. I like to stand in the back and kind of just watch it all unfold. It's like watching a play sometimes. It's really fun.
I imagine that's a lot safer than getting involved.
Sometimes it's fun to get involved, but only at the right points. You just gotta wait.
Gotta wait for that key moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
You seem like you talk as if you know what it's like to perform.
No, I mean, not that type of performing. The only thing I know really how to use is I just kind of like flick the gem shorn that's like hanging off my pack. I just know how to play that a little bit, but I'm good with the sneaky kind of performing. I'm good with being quiet and doing really fun things while I'm quiet.
Well, I'm glad that you're here with us. Be nice
I'm glad to be here too.
Nice to have a shared soul along.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's fun to meet new people. It's really great to be traveling with you and Marius. It's great to meet friends on the road and help each other out, you know?
Yeah. Can I tell you something?
Sure. Go ahead.
I feel miserably unprepared for this.
Unprepared in what ways?
I mean, one day I was leaving home to find answers and make my way, and then the next I'm in the middle of a very, very dark room with a bunch of strangers who seem to be much more powerful than the folk I'm used to hanging out with. And I mean, I'm grateful for Marius's company, but you know, we've only met recently too. It's weird being alone.
Yeah, I can agree. I've spent a fair amount of time alone before I ended up finding Lon's Delight over there. So yeah, being with people is nice. I mean, granted, we're strangers and, you know, we may be more powerful than you are and not walking the same path metaphorically, but, you know, we're all just people. I mean, it's better to be around the good ones than the bad ones, I guess, despite, you know, where you might be going individually. You're never really quite alone.
Have you known Lon's Delight for a long time?
Not terribly long. I mean, maybe about a year now or so, maybe a little bit more. Time kind of escapes us. We have many different and crazy adventures.
I don't know if I set out for I don't really know what I set out for, but it definitely seems like adventure is what I keep finding. It seems like you guys really look out for each other. It's really nice to see.
We try our best. I mean, who else is going to look out for us besides ourselves and one another?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you guys with us.
Thanks, and it's glad to be a part of all of this. Never thought I would be trekking through a big mountain pass to find a fallen star. Definitely not on my radar of things I thought I'd be doing, so I'm excited you wanted us to come along.
Yeah, it's definitely not where I thought this trip would be taking me either, but it is what it is.
We're here
Maybe
now, we
we'll
might as
find what
well.
we're looking for.
Yeah, we're here now, we might as well just enjoy it.
And as you talk, this small cavern begins to open into a much larger space, and you can actually hear the trickle of water from what seems like an underground stream kind of flowing off to one side. And as you enter this room, more of that kind of glowing moss that you had seen in the woods here in dusk seems to be taking root in places where there's cracks of sunlight peeking through the top that look like cracks in the top of the mountain. And it helps to illuminate this grand space. And there's a few things you're able to notice immediately. The first is this trickle of water that seems to be kind of coming in from a hole in one wall and kind of flowing through a space right through the middle and then disappearing under the far wall. You also see what looks like ruins of some kind of crumpled monument or building front. It's hard to say. It looks like it's been destroyed for quite a while. And you also just notice how much bigger this space is overall. And you've probably been traveling for a few hours now. And this is the first time you've really had some kind of open space. It's hard to see the very, very far wall. It's odd actually because it's surprisingly black and dark. Like there's one section of this cave where that moss is not growing at all. It's hard to see over in that far corner. And Marius just kind of stops the group and he gestures off to one side and he says, you know, our way out is there, but this is one of the biggest opening spots and I think it's a good place for us to maybe take a rest and eat something. And him and Maritza kind of find a spot maybe to sit and they pull out what looks like similar packages to what Soren had given y'all, that has some bread and cheese and maybe some cured meats in it for lunch. And Maritza kind of seems to eat, but she is also kind of looking around, very wide-eyed at everything going on, and she looks like she is torn between kind of sitting here and also kind of exploring.
Never been in a place like this?
Who are you asking?
Maritza.
Oh. I grew up near the beach. This is even my first time in the mountains.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy to get sick of them, so enjoy it while you're not tired of it yet.
It is different. Everything about this is different. But I guess, are these even really our mountains? They just look like them, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell this is, to be honest.
It's a lot to take in.
That's a way to put it.
I feel like I've tripped and stumbled into something a lot bigger than what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But you do what you gotta do, I guess.
Right, so this thing we're looking for.
The star?
Mm-hmm. What's the
about it?
deal with it? Other than that it's expensive.
Well, I guess since you all are traveling with us, I'll tell you. The star is kind of a bonus for me. I left home because of the storms. The weather was wrong. We were getting water spouts and droughts and hail and hurricanes out of season. Part of my village actually fell into the water off the side of the cliff from the damage. And some of us, the younger of us, decided to see if we could find answers, and wandered around for a long time until I ended up at Dawn, where I met Marius, and where we got our invitations. And next thing I knew, I was here. And when a star falls out of the sky, when you're looking for answers, at best, it has something to do with things. At worst, we make a lot of money and maybe I can help rebuild.
That's a way to look at it, I guess.
Kind of have to follow the signs that are given to you, I guess. What about you? Why are you? You are a eclectic group.
He kind of looks to Lancelot. I'm here because she fed me.
I believe that.
That's pretty much all there is to it. But if you need me to cut something up, I'm good for it.
A handy trait to have. And at that, you hear a rumble in this cavern. And you see from the dark corner a shape begin to shift and move.
Sandor's on his feet.
Ransom's on his feet.
Lancelot is sitting and squinting.
And you see this lumbering shape emerge from one side of the ruins. And it's this moss-covered creature with arms and eyes that begins to crawl towards you. And Maritza jumps and drops the food in her hands and kind of nervously begins to draw a sword from her sheath.
Maybe stick to your bow.
Oh, that's a good idea. What is that thing?
I don't know, but it's probably gonna try to kill us, so we might as well get to it first. Swords are drawn.
Kill us. We're just what?
Trespassing in its territory, most likely. He's gonna shift just a little bit, so he's a little bit in front of her, because he has the shield.
Now let's not go rushing in without doing any preparation. There's a few small gifts I can grant you, perhaps, Sandor, if you're willing.
Whatever you got, hit me.
And if we have a free action before we get into combat, I'd like to cast True Strike on Sandor.
Okay.
Is there a rock or a boulder or a jut out or something I can hide behind while I draw my short bow?
Yeah, so there's quite a bit. You actually probably can hide behind a outcropping, like an edge of the wall of these ruins.
Yeah, I'll kind of like
that you can crouch
turn my
behind
back.
pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I'll turn my back and like crouch down and draw my short bow.
Okay.
Actually, reading that spell thing, it looks like it doesn't work that way. It looks like it only works for me. I point at a target and get defense, so maybe I'll just do that for me then. After telling Sandor I'm gonna do something for him.
It's fine. He's fine.
It's fine. Ransom snaps his fingers, they pulse black, and I cast guidance on Sandor.
Close to Sandor. Looks like Ransom's got your back.
Good
Stop
enough.
it.
And this mound kind of begins to lumber towards you, and you look at it, and it looks like it's made of plant. And it is big. It you realize that it is not just what was hiding in that blackness, but it was actually causing that blackness. It was covering up so much of this wall, and it seems to be almost like waking up as why it's moving towards you so slowly at first. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ouch.
Oh, shit. I guess Sandor's ready to go.
That guidance
That's
helped him out.
That
Sandor's
guidance
been waiting
meant
for a fight.
He had a bad night. He wants to take it out on something.
Ransom gave Sandor all of his luck.
And Sandor, what you see in front of you at first, this giant tentacled plant creature, but running around its legs, you notice these smaller, almost humanoid shaped little things. They're humanoid but small, maybe gnome size, just a few feet tall, but they also look green and mossy, and they're not really speaking, but they are kind of chittering and yelling and like and they seem to be communicating with this much larger creature, and running around in between its legs. And you have the first roll, or you have the first move.
Okay. Distance-wise, can I get up in the big thing's face and start whacking reasonably?
Yeah.
Alright, well, that's literally what Sandor is good at doing, so... I do think, though, we sort of see his stance shift a little bit before he heads over, and he gets a little more focused, which, mechanically speaking, I would like to rage.
Sure. What does Sandor's rage look like? Is it just focus?
Real
Is it...
creepy and cold, actually.
Oh, it's kind of...
It's not anger. He gets real focused. And he doesn't really say a whole lot either. We just kind of see him grin a little bit and he rushes in. So let's see. Pardon me as I remember how to roll 20.
And you are rushing at the large,
Yep.
tentacled plant creature.
Yep.
And that is a hit.
Sweet.
And so you can just click the long sword in the chat box and it should.
Oh, that's right. I guess that'll be the other one.
Yep,
'Cause
and
I
that is
forgot about
also a hit.
Alright.
Okay, and roll that a second time.
I don't know if the rage would apply to the offhand, so maybe take away that second too.
Okay, 11. So 19 points of damage.
Woo! Yeah, and I think we just see him kind of going in one after the other, leading with the left.
And you hit this creature firm. You actually, it's got these plant-like tentacles that are reaching out, lashing out towards you, and you're able to kind of swipe at one and take a chunk out of one of its arms. And it just looks kind of pissy with you. It kind of shakes its arm like you've annoyed it in some way, and it kind of continues to roar at you and it lets out this roaring shriek, and these small creatures that are fiddling around its legs all begin to leap out from beyond it once it's been hit. And the one takes a swing with its claws at you and does a 19 hit.
Mm-hmm.
And was a 9 hit.
Nope.
And so you take 6 points of damage as these they look like hands, but they're thorns at the end kind of swipe into your legs as it leaps on you. Another one attacks you. There's a 22 hit.
Yep.
You take 4 more of that swiping damage. A 9 would not hit. And then the third one also attacks you because you kind of stepped up as a 15 hit.
Remind me, because it's been a while since I've done the D&D. My armor is also 15. Is it meet or beat?
I go with the party wins ties.
Okay. Then I
like
win.
that. So and then yeah, and so this first one kind of leaps at your legs and starts to swipe at you and digs its claws into you. A second one kind of grabs your other calf and gets a hand into your calf muscle, but then the third, because it kind of can't work its way around the other two, and just kind of like stands in front of you and growls at your direction. And then it's Ipsis's turn.
If I turn around from where I am I flanking anybody?
So you are kind of hiding behind this outjut of rock off to one side. The rest of the party is kind of directly facing this creature, this set of creatures. So you're just kind of off to the left, kind of able to peek out over. So you have a clear shot probably of the large creature and one of the smaller ones, but you do risk, if you were to fire at the ones actually attacking Sandor, you risk him being kind of in the way.
Is one of these smaller creatures not attacking Sandor that I can reach?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to kind of peek my head out around the corner and shoot off my short bow and try to get the little bugger.
Okay.
So let's see. Nope.
And as it's kind of growling at Sandor, and all of this havoc is happening with Sandor kind of sitting right in the middle of the bunch of it, as you try and fire off your short bow, it just kind of dances around them because you're distracted trying to figure out who's going where and what, and make sure that Sandor isn't in your line of fire. And you see from a similar as as Maritza sees you kind of hiding behind this spot, kind of firing from a distance, she also finds kind of a rock cropping to crouch behind, and kind of looks at you for guidance, and she's basically mirroring your actions, and she tries to fire at that smaller creature as well, and she does hit it. And it kind of cries out, and it's looking around for her, but she's kind of ducked down behind this rock.
As part of some of my movement, one as like a bonus action, I guess I'll turn to her and just say, stay here, shoot from afar, don't follow me. And if I can potentially run to another outcropping or just another place where I could potentially be hidden, I'd like to try and move away from the party and her.
Okay, so you can kind of inch your way around. Probably this rocky outcropping that you're hiding behind is really like a piece of fallen wall, so you're able to kind of move down farther, and you actually end up getting closer to the creatures, but you're still kind of out wide away from them.
Okay, that's fine.
On a similar line.
Cool, and I'll crouch back down and hide.
And we're actually going to go to Scrat's turn.
Hello. Much the same for Lonsdelight. Lonsdelight will be running in. She'll be trying to get as close to everyone as possible. Is Ransom looking like he'll be staying back, or is he looking like he'll be running into melee range?
He looks like he might be heading up.
So got sword
into the thick of it.
Sword thrown rather than bow or staff or something like that.
He has a whip. He doesn't have a blade.
Okay, so good. Whip is a reach weapon. I can stand in front of you. I will go and stand next to Sandor, in front of Ransom.
Okay, and so Sandor's being attacked, kind of being crawled on by these smaller creatures, and this larger beast is still kind of standing above all of you.
Well, once I have positioned myself, I will attack some of these smaller creatures, attacking Sandor.
There's one that isn't actually on Sandor that has an arrow sticking out of its shoulder that Maritza had fired into it, and then there's two other ones that are kind of right up on top of Sandor right now.
I will take one of the ones that is not got the arrow in it. I'm sure that.
Okay.
I will take my vicious longsword and I will slash at it viciously.
Okay. Slash away. Oh. Big hit. Go for it.
I am not playing. 14 damage.
Nobody attacks Mom's Delight's current project.
So I will deal 14 damage to this creature as I slash through its body. Is it rock or is it... Did we discover?
It's plant.
Plant. I will bury my blade deep into the flesh of the monster.
Thanks, Mom.
You've got it, baby.
That was alarming.
That was super not in character.
I know. I know. I could tell by voices, but that was alarming.
And this creature lets out what would be a roar, although its voice is rather squeaky. It's like, but it is still standing. Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Bonus action. I'm holding a shield. I don't think there's an awful lot, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
no,
we'll
those are all
go-
actions. No, that's it.
So we'll go to the next person's turn, who I have written down on my sheet as the big boy.
Oh, doy.
And so, having seen Lonsdelight bury this sword, this large creature kind of reaches out, and you actually see it looks like the plant mass rearranges itself, and it extends towards you, Lonsdelight, and tries to take a snap at you with these thorn-based teeth. that are dripping with some kind of ooze. Does a 25 hit?
Funny you should ask. Okay.
And you take 18 damage as these teeth sink into you. And you also have to make me a con DC 15.
Oh no.
I laugh. No, I don't.
Oh no.
I do have a bunch of rerolls though. What? How bad is
Yeah.
this? Is this worth a reroll, Kelly?
It's you get paralyzed and take acid.
I will do a reroll.
Maybe again.
Oh my god!
I'll give you a reroll if I have to, because no.
Yeah,
I mean, if someone will give me one, I wouldn't want to use my last
I will
one.
give you-
please.
Thank you, everyone, for supporting me in this. Eight again. No, there it is.
Oh!
Thank
Third time's
you.
the charm.
Thank you.
And as it sinks its thorny teeth into you, this dripping ooze kind of slides off of your skin and doesn't get really into you. It almost like drools on your arm. And it feel it kind of sting a little, but the real damage that you take is from those thorns sinking deep into your upper arm, where it tried to latch onto you for swinging your sword.
Since I didn't take a bonus action at all, I'll just call out to everyone, be careful of the goop, acid or something.
You got it.
And Ransom, it's your turn.
Okay. How is Lawn's Delight looking and how is Sandor looking?
Lonsdale looks like she could take a few more hits.
Okay.
Sandor's fine.
Okay, he's gonna risk it. I'm gonna drop guidance. Because this is gonna be another concentration spell. Can I move so that I... Basically, I want to remain behind Sandor and Lawn's Delight, but I want to catch as many of the creatures as I can in about a 15-foot... They need to be at least 15 feet from me. Or at most, basically.
At most 15 feet from you. So you want to see
Yeah.
how many of them you can catch.
In a radius, yeah.
Are you trying to avoid your own party?
I can choose who this hits.
Okay. They're all kind of in a cluster. It seems like these little ones don't want to get too far away from the big boy.
Mm-hmm.
So you can probably hit all four of them.
Oh, so this is gonna suck to be them, because I'm gonna cast Spirit Guardians
Okay.
at level 3, because that's what I've got. So there's a 15. They need to be within 15 feet of me, and they all need to make a Wisdom saving throw. As little white ravens all kind of pop up around me and begin circling.
Okay.
You have to beat a 15.
Okay. Too many sheets up. What am I doing? There it is.
So many things.
No.
Clearly, they're designed to roll a 13.
Apparently, that's what they do.
Is that all of them?
That's what they do. So they all fail.
They all fail, so they're all going to take 18 points of radiant damage as the little ravens just start buffeting them with their wings, and Ransom just kind of snarls behind the party members as he does this. And there goes that spell slot.
And it looks like this big one has taken quite the hit now. It kind of rocks back and forth. And one of the little ones in particular, this one that has this arrow coming out of its shoulder already, is barely standing. You've almost cleaved an arm off, and it seems to be struggling. Which takes us back to Sandor's turn. So you have these three small guys running around still in front of you, kind of on top of you. You also have this big boy.
I think I'm just gonna keep wailing on the big boy.
Okay.
Because, yeah, he's not going to concern himself with the little guys. And I apologize. I belatedly realized apparently while raging I have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. I don't know if they did any of that, but for next time.
Okay.
I completely blanked on that. But, yeah, he is just going to keep hacking away one after the other. Doing some yard work, if you will.
So roll those. Okay, so that's a hit.
Yeah.
And that's a hit.
Okay. So, boop.
So you're able to take kind of two swings at this larger creature who you able to kind of slice one of its viney, tentacly arms that are writhing around you off. And it lets out a scream of pain, but it is still standing, and it looks to you like it's just kind of really mad.
I can relate.
And at this time, it is the kind of smaller creatures' turns, and you see them kind of take a step back and they gather together, and you actually can see as they stretch and reach and writhe, and the moss that covers their bodies begins to expand, and kind of the one that has an arrow in its arm, it actually pops the arrow out, and it looks like the hole heals back over with plant material, as each of them kind of heal themselves and regrow body bits that had been chopped off and chunks that had been flying everywhere. And one of them still attacks Sandor. A 19.
Yup.
Could
that's
I
Oh,
could
yep.
I use my reaction to give a disadvantage on any of these attacks? I know I can, but I'm just saying any of these attacks I'd like to at some point she'll lean in with her shield and be like, leave him alone.
And so this first one kind of swipes at Sandor and catches him in the leg. And then as it goes to swipe with the other hand, Lancelot's shield comes down in between, and its claws scrape along the shield and stop. It actually kind of spins around and seems somewhat disoriented. As a second creature reaches in from the other side to hit Sandor again.
Okay.
11 doesn't, and an 11 doesn't. But again, Lancelot's shield is in the mix, and it's throwing off these creatures, and they seem like they can't really get around. They can't really get a foothold, and so the third goes after Lancelot. Does a 15 hit?
No.
And it tries to swipe at you, but you're able to kind of shove it back with your shield over and over again and just kind of push them farther back, and they seem more and more agitated and irritated.
I think she's literally like blocking their strike, saying, no.
Shame on you.
And it's Ipsis's turn.
So I'm going to pop around from wherever I'm hiding from, and anybody who's around, they'll see me kind of like scrape at my palm and like under my breath mutter this like really guttural word, which for those who speak Infernal will just be fire. And I'm going to cast Firebolt at the large guy.
Okay. And that's a hit.
Tight. All right, so that is 1d10. Cool. Perfect.
And you catch kind of a viney growth off of its back with the edge of this firebolt, and it singes and it like flinches away from the flame.
Since I was hiding, does he know I was there?
Do you hide again?
I was like kind of peeking out from where I was hiding, and then I would use my bonus action to hide again in the same spot. I don't want to move. I just want to hide again.
Okay. No, he's so distracted by everything that's going on in front of him. There's this person, you've singed him, but this person took a giant chunk out of him earlier, and so he's entertained by that at the moment.
Could this be sneak attack damage then?
Yeah, because you have party members that are all up in there.
Perfect. Then I'll roll that 3d6 for sneak attack. That's a
And
total of
as
20.
this flame kind of works its way down, this planty vine that originally this creature was ignoring, it hits its back and finds some drier sets of moss that are growing across it, and it whooshes the entire back of the creature, jumps up in flames, and it kind of rears back and is flailing about and crashes onto the floor and growls and turns to look at you, Ipsis.
And I'll just duck back.
And it is Maritza's turn, and she kind of nervously pokes a head out from around and looks at these smaller creatures and fires at them again with her longbow. And she's able to hit one of them just fine, and she takes a second shot, but it goes wide. And actually this smaller creature that she had originally hit kind of cries out in pain as this arrow goes straight through its back and comes out the other side, and you can see that the vines are trying to grow over it, and it can't, and it falls to the ground. And it's going to be Lonsdelight's turn.
Lonsdelight will be looking around approvingly. This is all going very well. Everyone stayed sort of in their formation, right? No one's moved away. She doesn't need to go and protect anyone anywhere else. Sandor's still there. Ransom's still behind.
Ransom's behind you. And Ipsis is hiding in the corner.
She will stay exactly where she is then. And the littler ones, is one of those still
There's
up?
two little ones kind of scurrying around in front of you. There's two of them that are up, but one that is down. And then the big one that looks like it is smoking and rocking.
I would like to slash at one of the little ones.
Okay.
There's 17 hit.
That's a hit.
Then I shall do 5 slashing damage. Perhaps not so much damage because it's more a defensive strike, as she takes a deep breath in. Whoops. Huh. It didn't actually roll it. Okay, well fine. It'll be this plus my fighter level, which is 4.
4. That's right.
Yes.
Oh, plus 1. So it should be 6 points.
Yeah, that was interesting. Oh, it's because I used my hit dice. Yeah.
And you take in this kind of deep, rejuvenating breath before this large creature actually turns to Sandor to try and reach out its viney teeth. Does a 26 hit? Roll that con save.
Sure. I think I'm good at those.
Famous last words.
Ah,
You have rerolls.
Please
I do.
use them.
I think I would like to use them.
Okay.
Thank God.
As many of them as I need to.
We had too many rerolls stacking up. I needed to give y'all something to
I
fight.
hate to say this, but Mirrors has been topping up our rerolls as we've been using them. We're still up at 2.
Oh no.
Oh my god, for fuck's sake.
Now I regret taking away that guidance.
You do
Well-
have another one.
Well, alright, YOLO, we're gonna use it. I don't care.
Here comes the nat one. Oh no, there it is.
And again, let's see. You still take 13 points of damage. Oh, but it's piercing damage, so half of that.
Erect!
As it digs into your arm, and you actually kind of like shove the creature away. And it looks kind of shocked that you are so unaffected. And then it's Ransom's turn.
Wisdom save repeat. Everything that's still alive and hostile.
Okay.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dang it!
So one of the little guy,
Oh,
two of the
no!
little guys.
Come on, just let the yes. The big guy fails.
But the
Hang on.
big guy fails.
Okay, so everyone else takes half, but he's gonna take the full. Oh, that was sucky. But hey, what are you gonna do? So Ransom's holy symbol, the coin made by Sylvanas that hangs off of his horn, it pulses white, and those ravens start attacking again.
And these like little guys are like flailing about trying to get them off of them. And this bigger guy seems kind of more focused on the smoking from its back than these small ravens that are attacking it. But then it becomes anything else on your turn?
I don't think I really have any bonus actions that I can do. So, that's it.
Thank you, Mirrors. Thank you, Kentucky Hawkeye, who cheered to give us another reroll for Sandor, and then Mirrors, who redeemed another 2 rerolls, 1 for Sandor, 1 for Lon's Delight.
And Sandor, before your turn begins, you hear the sound of a pan flute coming from the back of this cave, and it echoes and reverberates in the cave, and it's a very invigorating sound, probably something that sounds like the sound of a fighting march from back home when people would come back home and you have an inspiration to use.
Okay.
It's a 1d8.
Neat. All right. I'm gonna remember to actually do all of my things on this turn. So I get to attack 3 times, which means he's gonna swing 3 times.
Okay.
Because that is the one thing he's good at doing. Yeah, he just is pretty much focused
So
on
who
the
are you
fight, and
swinging?
he's going to lay into that creature if it's still standing.
The really big one?
Mhm.
Yep,
I'm
it is
not
still
changing
standing.
my target.
And that's a hit.
Yay!
You're rolling really consistently, like 18s and 19s.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so he will whirl in with the first one and
Roll that
kind of-
damage for me.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Cool.
So how would you like to kill this big creature?
I think he leads in with the left, just swinging in with the sword, with intent to come back around on the backswing with the other blade. But if that's enough to cleave it through, he will just spin around and just plant his offhand weapon into it.
And that is enough to kill it, and it cries out in pain as it hits the ground, and it's big enough that when it hits the ground you kind of feel the ground rock a little bit. But these smaller creatures kind of look back in shock and then leap towards you. You do
Okay.
still have, you were able to do that on the very first swing. So you do actually have both attacks left.
All right. Well, if that's the case, he's not stopping, and the offhand, he will just rip it back up and swing at them and take another shot with his main hand at the first one that comes at him. He's not picky.
Okay. And we'll use that second roll for the offhand one. And that's a hit. So
All right.
roll that damage again. And that is enough to kill one of these smaller creatures as well. You're able to just kind of swing back at it in this one smooth movement as it's leaping towards you. You catch it midair.
Okay. Yeah, other sword, main hand is just, he whips it around in his hand and is gonna go at whatever the next one in line is.
Yeah, there's one left.
Come at me, bro.
And you do not hit it.
Okay.
It seems to be kind of dodging a little bit better because of its nerves. It's very focused on avoiding you.
It might have seen a good reason to do that.
It's
Just a
definitely
thought.
giving you a wide berth.
Yeah.
Now it actually kind of scurries off. And tries to attack Lonsdelight instead of you. I imagine a 12 does not hit. And I imagine a 10 does not hit either. But so it's so distracted trying to avoid your blade, Sandor, that it also can't really get a grip on anybody else. And it is Ipsis's turn with this one last little creature remaining.
I'm just going to peek out and try to snag it with my short bow.
Okay. Nope. It's there's so much going on, you almost can't see it very well because now there's this giant plant mass laying on the ground in the middle of everything. And so instead Maritza will peek out again, nearing you, and she will fire. And she will not hit it either, also kind of burying her arrows into the back of this larger mass. Before it becomes Lonsdelight's turn.
Lonsdelight. Everyone's safe, right? She doesn't have to use a reaction at all, which is great. So Sandor's having fun. There's now smaller ones. She's fairly sure Sandor can handle them. So she's
there's just one little dude left.
Yeah, so she's gonna back up and stay near Maritza and Ipsis, and hold her action in case anything attacks them.
So Maritza and Ipsis are kind of hiding behind this kind of brick wall, and so you're able to kind of edge your way over to that stone wall and be standing really close to the opposite side of it from them, but kind of in between them and what's going on.
I think I've made it abundantly clear by now that she has the charlatan's background, so she's watching out for the bait and switch.
And it is Ransom's turn.
Again, it ain't broke. Don't fix it. Wisdom save.
And for some reason, this plant is just not affected.
So you take half damage. Because... So 5 radiant.
And that is enough to crunch this final.
Yeah. The ravens all kind of converge on it and just rip it to shreds. Just in case.
Get bucked.
Ransom hates nuisances.
And everything quiets, and you have this giant pile of plant matter. A large piece of it that's kind of oozing, and as this ooze kind of hits maybe some of the other plants, you can hear that sizzle of acid kind of dissolving whatever it's touching.
Can I go over and I think I only have one vial in my inventory. Can I take some of that ooze and put it in the vial and cork it?
Yeah.
Be careful,
Cool.
Ipsis. It's like acid or something.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'm just like squatting over it, like trying to gently nudge it in
Roll
there.
a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Good luck.
Oh man.
While she's doing that, Sandor's just gonna sheath his blades and.
Oh.
Oh no.
I wanna use a reroll.
Oh no.
I don't wanna burn a hand off. I don't wanna burn a hand off. Anything dumb. Much better.
Much better.
Normally I like failing, but I just don't want to lose a hand.
Yeah. You catch yourself before falling face first in the acid.
Or that. That could have been worse.
That would have been bad.
Oof.
Yeah, no.
Like as you're walking over there, you trip on a piece of like loose slate rock. So
Sploosh.
face first.
God. Well, that's the campaign, folks. We
Yeah.
gotta take Ipsis to a doctor.
Bye.
I'm right here.
Oh, well, that works.
Speaking of, he's gonna flick Sandor in the forehead and cast Cure Wounds.
The hell?
So he flicks you, but for some reason you feel better as you get 7 health back.
Neat.
And then he's gonna just start walking towards Lonsdale. His tail's kind of swaying. He looks amused.
I'm
and Lancelot-
actually fine, Ransom. You can save your energy.
You sure?
Really, really.
Alright.
And as you walk over to Lonsdale, Ransom, who is standing in front of this kind of tattered, broken wall, you notice that it seems like there used to be some kind of mural on this.
Instantly intrigued.
Ruin.
Mm-hmm. Can I discern anything about it?
Yeah. Roll an investigation as you're trying to look at.
I'll take it.
And so it's hard to make out everything because you can see the places where it's crumbled, where bits and pieces of the wall have begun to fall away. But your initial impression is it looks like you're seeing the same you're seeing these kind of panels that tell a similar story to the one that you saw at this festival, where you see in the first panel you see this long table and figures standing at it, an image that looks somewhat familiar to you but may not look familiar to others.
So it's my dream.
Mm-hmm. And the second figure you see, where two of those in the previous panel are now standing beside one golden robed figure and another dark cloaked figure, who then begin to fight in the third panel. And then the panel, it looks like there may have been more panels, but some of it is cracked away in the middle. If you keep following along kind of to the main area, you notice that this probably used to be a doorway here, like to go inside whatever building this was. And you see one panel that is actually kind of covered in smaller murals that come in pairs. It's kind of one darker colored pair and one lighter colored pair, and it's pairs of figures going all the way down this long, still intact piece of wall.
Mm-hmm.
And each figure is different. But there's actually some that look like you could almost make out who they are, but they don't seem familiar to you.
And is this like how the rune is, or can I go deeper into it?
It looks like actually if as you hit this far piece where there's that doorway, it actually looks like you're standing inside what used to be this building.
Okay.
But the doorway is facing away from you.
He's gonna do his absolute best to commit that with all the pairs to memory,
Mm-hmm.
which we all know he likes to do. Does this look familiar to anyone else? Mind you, it was literally like he was walking towards Lon's like with the intent to heal her. She was like, "Nah, I don't need it," and then he just like immediately was just attention diverted, and he's totally absorbed by this.
What is it?
The murals, the story.
Sandor will wander over and take a look. Does it look familiar at all?
Sandor, you do recognize one of the faces.
Okay.
A couple panels, kind of at the very bottom. These last two panels, you recognize a male figure as your old instructor.
Oh shit.
I think we sort of see him fall back a pace. The fuck?
Sandor, I'm
What
going
the
to
hell
take
is
it
this?
you just recognized someone, right? Lon's delay, Ipsis, do you?
Yeah. Does anyone else go up to the panels?
I'll look up behind and just kind of like stare at it.
And you recognize someone as well, Ipsis.
I know that person.
You know Mantra.
That's Mantra. That's my old friend. My old mom, I guess.
Oh no, I suppose I
And
should
the
look
rest of
too.
you?
Yes, you're gonna look. Maritza, all of you, look.
Ransom, don't be so commanding, dear.
Please.
There we go. Thank you.
Maritza comes over confused as to what all the hubbub is. She's kind of eyeing the pile of plant matter still. But it doesn't. She's like, "Oh, that's kind of pretty."
You don't recognize anyone, huh?
No.
Does Lonzolite?
No.
No, I don't recognize anyone on this post thing.
Okay. So Ipsis saw her mother. Sandor, you see
Nobody
someone.
important.
Can Lonsdelight be looking back the way they've come whilst everyone else is distracted by this?
Sandor, you can tell that Ransom does not buy that, but he doesn't say anything.
Sandor's just looking at this mural, like he really wants to carve it up, but he's not doing anything.
Safeguards. She said safeguards.
Roll a perception check. No, roll an insight check for me.
Insight check.
What?
Nani?
Oh! Oh!
Thank you.
Ouch.
The most insightful of moms.
Remember? Yeah. Remember how I said I'd let you know when I knew? This is what I meant. I dreamed this.
Okay.
I didn't
Last
see-
night?
Yes, but it wasn't a carving. It was he gestures to the table. It was that happening.
Wait, well, I don't know what the hell this all means, but it's pissing me off. Should
I
we
can
go get
tell,
that
but
stone?
everything pisses you off. Unless it's alcohol.
Not everything.
Mm-hmm. We should go.
Yep.
Wait, didn't we have Didn't we have a sixth person?
Marius seems to have kind of held back from this fight, kind of standing aside. You see him there kind of holding his little panpipes.
Sandor gives him a little bit of a salute. By the by, is he handsome?
Oh no!
I forgot to ask this very important question earlier.
He is not the Tristan kind of handsome.
Okay.
He is kind of subtly good looking. He's
good
human.
enough. That's good enough.
While
Sandor's
Sandor,
standards are low.
He definitely seems very he's very reserved. His body language is very reserved. He's very withdrawn, very quiet.
Good. Wonderful.
How many challenges are you going for, Sandor? Just wondering.
all of them, all of the
Love
challenges.
challenge.
Ransom sees this happening and starts walking.
I was gonna say, while
His tail's
this
lashing.
is obviously happening and Sandor is looking Marius up and down, apparently, can I
Mhm.
check that wall for any? I don't know if they're necessarily traps, but just like hidden compartments, recesses, anything that might be around. I just want to inspect it to see if there's anything else going on.
Go ahead and roll that investigation. On a 21, I'll say you don't find any hidden things, but as you're kind of really investigating the building, the ruins of this building itself, kind of going back and forth, you can actually kind of look at the doorway and look at the outside, and you begin to think that this was some kind of temple at some point. It looks like it's a large open room. It looks like there's a pile of rock on one side that almost looks like it may have been like an altar place. There's kind of recesses in some of the walls that look like maybe there were small shrines in them.
Is there any iconography or any carvings, anything like that to kind of
Nothing.
decipher what type of temple?
Nothing beyond these panels that you had seen before that Ransom had pointed out. That seems to be, you look and you see the gaps in them, and it looks like they at one point told this story and probably took up this entire space.
I'll walk over to Ransom. It was a temple, I think.
Makes sense. Very astute of you.
To who? To what? I mean, if we know people in these paintings, these carvings, how is that possible?
You remember how the temple up the mountain was supposed to be to many gods, or to all gods.
Right.
He is pitching this so that the others can hear, by the way. In my dream, I saw many gods, including my patron, specifically. And I think there was some safeguards. She said safeguards, and it was important because she repeated it. And the game, and there's... Everything about this is twisted deeper than we realize, I think. I think we're involved in something much deeper than we think we are. So, you know, mortals are currently the playthings of gods, and it looks like we've been selected for the chess pieces.
Sounds like bullshit.
Oh no.
I would agree, but my patron is one of them, and nothing she does is bullshit. Nothing.
But if I'm not saying anybody else here, but I mean, I don't really follow a patron. Why was I chosen? Why was Sandor chosen? I mean,
Yeah. Seriously.
what kind of part do we have in all this if we don't have someone that we're serving who needs our help?
Just because you aren't actively serving doesn't mean you weren't chosen. The divine work in mysterious ways. I can't claim to understand all of them. I can only claim to barely understand my own. Barely.
Okay, so, you're the expert. Any recommendations on how to tell the gods to kindly fuck right off and leave us alone?
Oh, Sandor. And he just starts walking.
So that's a no then. Like everything
As you
else.
walk away, Ransom, you realize that Maritza's kind of like standing there, kind of like rocking back and forth on her toes and her heels, and she seems like she's eating out some like kind of snack from her pocket, and she's just
He
like,
pauses. I'm sure you'll be fine. Breathe.
okay.
It would be completely illogical for them to dump us all here if they wanted us all dead. There's a greater plan in motion. We just have to survive to see it. So just breathe and keep your wits about you.
I mean, you use that word "us" real loosely.
You're with us currently, aren't you?
Yep.
There you go.
Hmm.
Well, as I recall, I think we were trying to find a star or some shit.
Yes, and we just got set back.
Well, if we can sort that business out, you can go home and you don't have to be involved in us playthings of the gods or whatever the hell we are now.
I mean, you know, it's this is what did they say? More than I had bargained for, but I came looking to figure out why the world was falling apart. And if you all have some kind of connection to the gods that seems like as close as I'm gonna get to answers to begin with, then
You're not wrong.
I don't know about the rest of us here, but I sure as hell don't.
Lonsdale, maybe you should be Maritz's bodyguard as we progress.
That's a great idea.
I look after everyone in the party. You'll all be safe when you're near me.
You should
Yes, but
specifically look after Maritz's body.
Well, I've been staying very close to you and Ransom. You two will have to stay together and look after each other.
Oh, it's fine. I'm good. I can take care of myself.
I'll make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah, he'll flick me back to life.
Precisely.
Bastard.
Lonsdale will stand to attention like a mercenary. Ipsis will recognize this and then go and stand, like, holding her sword almost ceremonially next to Maritza.
Ipsis will just face palm at this point and walk up quietly behind Ransom and Sandor and just be like, "Oh no, she's doing it again."
You help her. I have to make sure this one doesn't die.
Oh, I don't think I'm the person to be helping her with this.
How
the
can
one
you all be so phenomenally bad at flirting?
Because I have no interest in it.
I wasn't asking you. I feel like you'd probably be fine by just being you. People like that.
They do. He looks alarmed by the prospect.
Sandor's casual flirting game is... Oh!
He knows what he's doing.
Ransom doesn't. For once, his insight is failing him.
Sandor is good at two things. Hitting things and hitting things.
oh, I as a DM am not prepared for this party at all.
I, as a player, am not prepared for this party, but here I am.
Here we are.
We built this trash fire.
Ahem.
Okay. Where were we? I don't even
Lon's
remember.
Delight.
Oh,
Needs
yes.
a wing person, like, real bad.
Note that all of this flirting is happening with pile of ooze.
Yeah, pile of scary ooze monster.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's par for the course when you're an
Yeah.
adventurer. Like,
Yes. Yes. As long as it doesn't stink
kind
too
of-
bad, we don't care.
Just making sure to set the scene for everyone.
If I look
Oh.
back, does it look like there's anything to still loot off the body? Or is it just a pile of like decrepit plant matter?
That seems accurate.
Okay.
huh. Onwards and offwards.
Marius, do you know where we're going now? Does any of this look familiar still?
I mean, it's a pretty straight line out the other door, I think. You just... this was
Great.
the big break spot. It's why you stop here to eat.
Right, well, why don't you lead the way? I'll be right behind you.
Oh, I can do that. And he kind of straightens and ties his pipes with the purple ribbon back onto his belts and keeps them secure and kind of starts heading towards the far wall, where you can see as you get closer, this moss is kind of lighting up another gap in the wall. It looks like, interestingly, this particular gap looks unlike a natural fissure. It looks like it may have been natural once, but it's kind of carved clean like an actual doorway passing into a hall that is somewhat wider. You could probably walk 2 across, and just kind of continuing through the cave. And you head out. And it's a pretty easy go. It's a pretty easy travel through the pass. And you reach kind of the far side. And as you're walking, you're able to see the light starting to shine in. It's been a long walk, a long day. Several hours have passed. If there's anything else that we need to, any other conversing that needs to happen, other than just kind of casual chit chat between everyone.
No casual chit chat going on here. A lot of casual sweating nervously and marching, but no casual chit chat.
Oh.
About it, so
And-
maybe you could tell Lon's Delight a story.
Who was that to? Vera? Sorry.
Maritza.
And she stops and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I was
Or at
thinking."
least tell her she's cute or something because she's frozen.
Somehow Lon's Delight gets more frozen.
Oh, she's like, I mean, there. She looks at outside. She's like, I mean, there's a reason that of all the people that were at the festival that I was asked you to come with us, and it's not just because you're the strongest looking one of the bunch. Oh,
you
honey.
say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, honey, we're gonna work on that, I think. It's gonna be okay. It seems like she's relaxed a little bit.
You
Almost
see,
like
Sandor and I are Lon's Delight's projects. Lon's Delight can be your project. That was the best smile he's ever done, y'all.
I look forward to seeing what we can produce with this new project.
You're gonna have a hell of a time. Good luck with that.
She looks at you, she's like, it could be worse. You could be my project.
Oh,
could be
Sandor,
the
don't speak that way about Sandor. He's a good boy.
I could be your project, then you'd really be suffering.
I think Sandor just looks like, real skeptical at that entire branch of the conversation.
Say, oh, okay. I guess the banter is reserved to the group only. Got it.
No, that's not. Oh no.
Nah.
We can make you a project too. We can work on you too.
I think she's
That got
fine.
really odd.
She's got her shit together, near as I can tell.
I try. Clearly, sometimes it works out better than others.
That's life.
Oh well, you've got good taste, so there's that.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I agree with Sandor on something. Ugh.
Try not to vomit too much in your mouth.
Ugh.
Yep. And yes, Ipsis, you are kind of just, I imagine, looking quite a bit like that this whole time. Just
More so taking in notes that Sandor is giving to Lon's Delight in this time, and just watching, trying to learn. Quietly, not saying anything, but trying to just observe and learn and soak it in.
Notably, during this entire conversation, Sandor's attention is directed directly ahead of him at Marius.
Notably, Ransom is not paying attention to that at all and making sure to look elsewhere.
And you, as you're walking and as this is going on, you begin to see light, and actually Marius kind of puts out the torch that he had, kind of wraps it up and taps it out and kind of looks back to you, Sandor, and he goes, I think we'll be able to see now just fine. You can keep that if you want, though.
Sure, thanks. Good looking out.
Yeah, I try to be prepared.
I try not to be, it's more fun that way.
That's a life choice.
Yep.
And he just kind of turns and keeps
Follows.
guiding you towards the exit. And unlike the first half of this journey, where there was a lot of like branching in the cave structure, this seems to be pretty straight shot. You don't actually notice a lot of other passages or anything like that, and it seems cleaner. It seems consistent. And you come out the other side, on the other side of the mountain. And you're actually kind of standing on a ledge. If you look behind you, through the gap that you come out of, it, unlike the kind of hidden crack on the dusk side of the mountain, this one is actually decorated. It is a large opening, kind of designed to fit 2 or 3 people wide, and it actually looks like there's like carvings, decorative carvings around the outside. It looks like someone had once gone through and outlined it in kind of stonework, which is beginning to kind of crumple away, but you can definitely clearly see the remnants of where it once was. And you're standing on this ledge, and you can see out in front of you this vast forest. And far off into the distance, you can actually see the place where the star has hit the ground and has knocked over trees. And you can see that the trees are all gone and that they're burned away and flattened almost in this perfectly straight line into this smoking crater. Probably a day or 2 off in the distance. It's hard to tell your distances from up here because it's just trees, and then it stops. You look down and there are a few other clearings, some gaps. You actually notice squinting what looks like more ruins in one side, another pile of stonework, maybe a few hours away. And you see that there is this path, this very clear path leading down the mountain, and it curves back and forth to the bottom. And as you look over on the bottom, you see a building. You see the wooden roof and smoke from a chimney.
What the hell?
Okay, so that's weird. Right?
Underground, right?
No, we're
You're not
out.
underground anymore.
Oh,
You
sorry.
are out. You are on the. You've gotten out of the mountain,
Still weird. Okay.
and it has been most of the day. Like the sun is kind of setting. It's beginning to get dark outside. You've been traveling for something like 13 or 14 hours through this mountain.
So
To the
house.
Still in like super professional mercenary mode. Halt! I will go forward and investigate.
No, you're not going
No.
by yourself.
You have to protect Maritza.
Yes, we should send a scout.
Yep, I'll go.
You're not a scout. You'll use swords.
I think that's Ipsis.
He looks around and realizes that the only person who resembles a scout is Maritza, and then she quickly like. Yes,
Ipsis.
Sandor, you should go,
Uh,
Sandor.
Ipsis, you want to go with me?
Yeah.
She scouts, and if anything gets weird, I'll cut it down.
Fair
Sounds
enough.
good. Do you need more
So-
healing?
He's not gonna say he does, but he probably does.
He says absolutely no as you see this like trickle of blood rolling down his arm from where this
Yeah.
wound
Okay.
has split back open from where the
Okay.
Yeah.
the bites shoved into his forearm.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. You get 12 healing back as he flicks you again.
What? Will you stop that?
That's a higher
I
level
won't
cast.
actually.
That's a
Oh wait, what?
That's a higher level cast. It's actually 20 healing.
Oh!
What?
You cast it at level 2?
Oh shit! Yes, I did. Okay, yeah, you get 20 health back.
Jeez! That's so much. I think I'm topped up.
Sweet.
I think I'm good.
Yeah. So he flicked you, but dang, you feel
Ow!
good. That didn't hurt you, big baby.
That was annoying as shit, but it worked. Thanks.
Good.
Come on, let's
You're
go.
welcome.
I'll just laugh
Come on,
and
Ipsis.
pat Ransom on the shoulder as I walk past
Hmm.
and start heading down stealthily.
He'll follow after her.
And as you head down the path, are you going to both kind of stealth down this path then?
I am. I'm trying to at least.
Ipsis roll
know.
that stealth roll.
I don't know if Sandor really stealths, but he's not trying to be noisy.
He's not stealthing, but he's not unstealthing.
Yeah. He's like sauntering down.
The casual stroll.
Yep.
Casual,
Just taking
casual
a walk.
Sandor.
Just taking a walk.
Meanwhile, Ipsis is kind of sneaking with very soft footsteps down this mountain as Sandor's just kind of like and you're able to follow the path down, and you see you've got around the base of this mountain. This path comes out. It's a smooth path, clean path. Well, it looks like it was put there purposefully. And you see a kind of clearing in front of you, and this building looks extremely familiar. And it says, "Welcome to Midnight" on the front.
Are you kidding?
I'll grab the copper wire on my necklace and cast message and point up to where Lon's Delight is and just say, apparently it's another midnight. So all is well. come down and meet us.
Oh no.
What's the matter?
Ipsis just messaged me. She's found another midnight.
There's 3?
Well, we've had dusk, we've had dawn. What else can we have? Midday and midnight.
Midnight is the inn.
I know, but are we in dawn or dusk or somewhere else or?
I don't know. I don't care. Let's just get moving.
Well, do we go back or do we go on?
The star is directly ahead, therefore we have to go on. We can see it.
Should we stop
And
in
maybe
mid?
on the...
Does this layout look the same as the approach to the mountains where midnight was? Now that we have this information.
So what you see in front of you, this building, it looks like midnight got picked up and put in the middle of the woods. So it's not like the town. There's no other town around here. It's just the tavern, the inn.
Are we getting stalked by an inn?
That would be insufferable. That wasn't Lon's Delight. That's not in character. That's just
my
scrap. That's just
God.
scrap.
Stream's over, everybody go home.
And on that note,
Good night, everybody!
We all take 2 points of psychic damage.
Yeah. Just 2?
for mom jokes.
Just 2 for mom jokes.
We can go and join up with the others. If it's really midnight, perhaps it's a place to stay for the night, and then we continue on.
Meanwhile, Ipsis and Sandor are just standing there
Just
watching.
chilling,
them
like, what the...
So I'm gonna
You
cast
two aren't
message
talking?
again. Yeah, I'm gonna cast message again. Did you hear me the first time? Is everything okay?
What are they doing?
You get a message back, right? I think the message back you would have got would have been Lon's Delight. Oh no!
Okay, fair.
Well,
they're-
do we go inside or what?
I say we go inside. They can meet us in there. Obviously, they see us walking, so might as well just go grab a drink and sit down and try to make some sense of all of this, I guess.
That sounds amazing, actually.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Especially the go in and have a drink part.
I'm gonna start walking.
And you're
I misdirected Tristan and that if they end up back at midnight as well.
What?
Ransom's just gonna start herding Lon's Delight and Meritza along. Come on, both of you.
And you're able to, Ransom and Lon's Delight and everyone are able to kind of make their way down. I'm giggling at the puns in chat right now, sorry.
God. I'm
Um,
hurting so much.
I'm in agony.
and
Scrat!
it just doesn't stop. So you guys are able to make your way down the mountainside. You hear normal wood sounds of birds and squirrels and whatever else you would see in the woods. Meanwhile, Sandor and Ipsis, you are able to go inside. It looks like you guys are the only ones here. There's a fire roaring.
That's weird.
Can I walk over to the bar area and kind of like slam my fist down and be like, "Hello? Is there any-"
As you approach the bar, you don't see anyone still, but you see like a little sign set up that says like, "Be right back. Help yourself."
No name on it or anything. Just help yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach over the bar and just grab the first thing I find under anywhere and just chuck it back, and hopefully Sandor catches it.
He's gonna try anyway.
You enabler!
I don't know what it is. It says
Doesn't matter what it is.
I think I get more satisfaction about this working exactly as described rather than making you roll for it.
Sure.
So
Much obliged.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
grabbing. I'm just like grabbing whatever, just like helping
Yeah.
myself.
I think he just catches it, takes a quick glance at it, pops the cork, takes a quick drink to test it. Kind of weak, but it's alright.
I mean, the
And
sign
he-
does say help yourself, so if that's not what you want, by all means.
I'll find something. You can have this one. And he
And I'll
kicks
just
out
take
a couple
it.
of chairs and sits back for a minute.
So,
And you're able to kind of sit and relax, and it's kind of warm and cozy in here. And Ransom and Lon's Delight and Maritza and Marius make their way down. Marius and Maritza both seem kind of like unsure. Marius kind of walks right in the front door and sees the two of you drinking.
Hey,
hey. There's nobody here, but the sign says help yourself, so, we just kinda took the liberty.
Anybody check the kitchen?
Not yet.
mm-mm.
Is this what
No,
you
no,
expected,
make-
Marius?
I don't think I expected a building to appear in the middle of the woods on the far side of the mountain where there's no town, no.
Especially not this building.
Okay.
And he
good.
actually kind of gestures to his backpack, and you see there's like a bedroll tied to the bottom of it. And... He's like, but, you know, when in midnight, I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Yeah, bring back whatever you find back there. Getting kind of hungry, actually.
And he heads on back, and you hear kind of a familiar voice from the back that's like, "Oh, hello."
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah. Help yourself. Blah 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 blah. And you're kind of talking back and forth, and it's like, "Yeah, you guys are the first ones here." You know, it is what it is. And some chatter and then just kind of noise. It's hard to say exactly what. And then Soren comes from the back. And it's like, oh, hi guys.
Hey.
You know, welcome to midnight. Can I get you anything to eat?
Hey, Soren.
Yeah.
Why is midnight here?
Because it's always midnight.
I underestimated how fucking literal that statement apparently is.
It's something pretty spectacular, isn't it?
How?
You know, I never really understood it myself. But when these games go on, we just seem to pop up when where we're needed.
Games.
Yeah.
What type of games?
All of this is the game, I assume. Ransom is like visibly flagging. He's exhausted at this point because there's no sleep, and he's just gonna drop into a chair, drop his head on the table, and just lay there.
We can always talk about that in the morning. Let me get your friend seems to be falling apart. Let me get you guys' room set up. You can have your
Sure.
usual space.
Thanks.
There's nobody else here, so. She kind of gestures and enjoy your stay. We love having you here at midnight.
Thanks.
And I think that's where we will end tonight's episode. Back at midnight again.
We seem to travel so many leagues and always
Yeah.
end up back at
And
midnight.
yet,
I
We're
also
getting...
can't believe the time. I haven't got like anything set up or anything. The time has flown tonight. Wow.
I want another 3 hours of this.
Honestly, I could play forever.
Same. I would, Kelly. You're so good. This whole party is so good. You all make me so happy.
So much love.
I love you all so much. And that goes to all of you people watching too.
It is
Hey.
very good.
I'm emotional. This won't happen again for like 1,000 years. Savor it, people. Savor it.
Well, everyone, that is the end of today's session. Thank you so much. Please take a moment to check out the links in chat. We'll be heading over to Discord briefly to talk about the end of the game. End of the game? Yeah, to talk about the game, about how no matter how far we walk, we always end up back at midnight. And how deceptively hot Soren is. I looked at the Pinterest and was thoroughly wowed. It seems Kelly only makes hot NPCs. We've created a monster. A beautiful.
There was a
beautiful
request,
monster.
guys.
There was a
It was an
request.
active request. I provide.
There was a request. There was.
Not complaining.
Absolutely not complaining. That's all of the links. Big thank you to our sponsors, Burden the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press, whose names I've continually tried to mishmash together today, but have managed it. They make it all possible with their wonderful sponsorships. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for all of your support throughout the show. And we'll be back next week for more Tilt. Until then, you can catch us 2 p.m., 7 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Mondays to Thursdays with plenty of shows for your entertainment goodness. Keep voting oceans, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye!